Hello, welcome to today's episode of Behind the Needle. Here I am with Injector Juicy is her Instagram
Hi.
handle. Jordan Stansbury from Juicy Med Spa, Juicy Aesthetics, downtown Vancouver, Washington. How are you doing today?
So great, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to
Yeah,
chat with you.
I'm stoked. I look for new guests or come across them as I meet them at conferences or, doing their ads or whatever. But when I was scrolling through, one day I found you. I said, Injector Juicy, what in the world does this mean? And who is this person? And then watching some of your content, you're just so bubbly, you're happy.
Thank you.
You have a great vibe, great energy out there. So that's why I wanted to do the interview and to talk with you about everything that's going on at Juicy Med Spa and the things that you guys are excited about, your origin story, if you will,
Awesome. Yeah.
um, and just kind of go from there. So thank you for being on today. Is
Good.
this your first
Thank you.
podcast?
It is actually, yeah.
Well,
I'm excited.
wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
glad
First
that
of
I
many,
get to be
hopefully.
the first of many.
First of many.
Um, so kind of walk us through, first of all, how long have you been injecting? And then how did you get into it? Was it something that you grew up seeing other people do and you're like, I want to be an aesthetic injector when I grow up? Or were you at a hospital? Were you in a clinic? Kind of walk us through the origin here.
Yeah, I've been injecting since 2020. That's when I got my first certification. But going back to high school and kind of thinking, like, what do I want to be when I grow up? I always wanted
Yeah.
to be in the beauty industry. My mom was a hairstylist, very talented, and I kind of wanted to lean into that. Love helping people, making them feel confident. So makeup was kind of my route, but my parents were like, honey, we've invested so much into your high school education. You're going to college, like a 4-year college degree. And so I initially went in for psychology. That wasn't my jam. And then I went into nursing and was like, wow, there's so much I can do helping people in such a broad scope. But someday injecting was like always the goal.
When did
Um,
you first see injectors injecting? Was that in high school or was that in college,
that
nursing
was in
school?
college. Yeah, college when it was still kind of like faux pas to talk about Botox. Like no
So
one really talked about it.
this was 2010s because you mentioned
2010s.
2020 is when you started.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't really talked about that much. So you saw
No.
some people talking about it and you're like,
Yeah, like
interesting.
some of my friends or like my aunts would be like, "Yeah, we're getting Botox," and I'm like, "Oh, this, oh my gosh, you're gonna look crazy," which is, of course, not the case. And so, seeing like their experience, I'm like, "Man, that is so cool that I can use my nursing degree for that at some point." But it was
Yeah.
very important for me to like, I worked so hard for my nursing degree. It's really important for me to get like clinical background and work
Hmm.
in the hospital for a little bit and learn how to talk to doctors and interpersonal relationships, all that good stuff. And then COVID hit, and I thought, what better time to start a new skill and a new business than in the middle of a shutdown?
What better time when you're injecting people's faces than to start during the global pandemic
Yeah,
of our lifetime?
where
Exactly.
half of their face is covered.
A lot of cheeks.
A
A
lot of
lot of
cheeks
cheeks and upper face
and
tops.
yeah, a lot of scowling going on. Yeah, I feel like that. I think a lot of people, at least in my friend circle, noticed wrinkles at that point because everyone was zooming their family. You couldn't see
Yeah.
anyone. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it was me and at the time two other gals. We did our certification, looked up how to start an LLC. That was before AI, ChatGPT. So it was a lot of trial and error. And we just kind of went full guns blazing and opened a small, tiny little practice. We rented a room out of a little massage parlor downtown Vancouver. We were very part-time. And yeah, it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of learning. The two gals ended up leaving. They realized business ownership was not all that glamorous in the beginning. So then it was just me. We had to shut down that LLC. I had to create a new one and just, I really intended initially for it to be kind of like a side hustle and quickly realized this is not something that can be a side hustle. Like you cannot be proficient and know really what you're doing, just doing 1 to 2 days a week. And thankfully, I just kind of blew up kind of overnight. So, went part-time at the hospital and then went on call at the hospital and just slowly grew over the last few years. So I've been on my own since 2022.
Wow.
And yeah,
When you say it just blew up, how?
It's kind of crazy. Word of mouth, I guess. At the hospital, like all my nurse friends were like, oh gosh, like especially in my age group where we were like, mid to late 20s. And they're like, well, I guess should I start getting Botox? I'm like, yeah, everyone. And, friends, and I did a lot of outreach, like I'd go to, Cycle Bar and Orange Theory and things like that, just trying to get my name out there.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, social media, definitely that helped a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So to be clear, stuff just doesn't blow up for your business miraculously or
that is
without
true.
cause. Is that fair to say?
Yes, yes. It was a lot of hustle and a lot
Yeah.
of hard work and really learning, social media for me before this was just fun, connecting with my friends and family. And
And it's
then I
not
had to
fun
shift
it's
it.
not fun
It's not
anymore.
fun anymore. Nope, it is work.
It's not. It's not fun.
It's not fun. It's definitely work. I had to learn I delegated that pretty early on because I'm like, I need someone else to take this from me and yeah,
Yep.
so I can
Yep.
enjoy it again.
And so when you went out and created Juicy, did
Mhm.
you go out on your own and you were the only provider at the beginning?
I was the only provider at the beginning. My original LLC name was Soul Skin and Wellness. And, it was very like earthy and chill and calm. Oh,
Oh,
very yes.
Zen.
Yes. And I'm like, this isn't authentic to me and who I am. I am very bubbly, like you said. And I kind of realized that there was kind of a gap in the med spa industry for that kind of vibe. And so I had a lot of people when I initially was like, I'm going to change it to juicy and it's going to be bright and pink and fun and, push the envelope a little bit. I had a lot of people say, like, Jordan, I don't think that's safe. I don't think that's good. I'm like, no, it's going to be good. Just watch. And so
Yeah.
we shifted and rebranded in 2023. And I feel like that brand visibility really helped increase things. I hired my first employee at the end of that year, got my first my storefront at the beginning of that year, and it was just like a one room with a little waiting room storefront. And then we quickly outgrew that, and in 2024 moved into a 5 room med spa, and that's when we hired the full team.
Wow. This is
Yeah,
inspiring.
it's kind of crazy. I
It's
I
cool.
yeah, I'm really glad that because it is so scary. I'm a nurse. Like I don't have that like business mindset. And so,
Yeah.
there have been a lot of mistakes along the way, but I'm like so grateful that I just kind of went for it. And I have a team behind me that believes in me and the brand and what we do and what we stand for so much. And yeah, our clients believe in us so much that yeah, I'm glad I took the risk because it is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. What do you feel like one of the most surprising things, or what is something that has surprised you about being a business owner that you didn't know before?
I mean, I think I knew that like obviously numbers are so important, but really how I have to look at those suckers every day. I really have to be on top of it. It's not
Yeah.
something that you can just be like, oh yeah, once a month sort of a thing, like really knowing the ins and outs of what your margins are, your overhead, all of it.
So
Um,
margins,
yeah.
overhead, what other KPIs, your cost
Mhm.
of goods sold, your actual profit, your revenue, all of those things, right? Were you afraid of
Mhm.
them before?
Oh, so afraid.
You're exactly right because what happens is I'm going to talk specifically about nurse injectors because I feel like most med spa owners, if they are provider owned and ran, are injectors.
Mhm.
There are estheticians that do it as well. So you should listen to this part too. But specifically, there's nothing to be afraid of. You have to understand how much money you're actually making. And I just had a conversation with someone on a different episode that we've been talking about this for about a year, maybe 2 years. You have to be dialed in with all of your costs and your money coming in because if you're not, you literally can't run your business. It's
Mhm.
impossible. You have to know everything. And so not going to business school, not really having a financial background, how did you actually learn this? Were you afraid of it at first, and how did you actually learn like how to have control over the numbers?
Yes, so afraid. It was, probably the biggest. trial and error thing I had within this. Because, not only am I learning a new skill, trying to be, educated, proficient, taking all these classes, I'm also like trying to learn this new realm of like, okay, I'm owning a business and I have to know all these things and m money and numbers. And I think, especially in this field, you sign up with all of these accounts and they're like, okay, perfect. Welcome. You're going to be so profitable. You're going to charge $700 a syringe. You're going to be rolling in the dough. But you have to place a $15,000 order in order to get your price per syringe down. And you're like, okay, Jan, it's going to be perfect. Sign me up. And then you're realizing like you're not doing full face filler every single day when you're starting. And so now you have the $17,000 invoice you have to pay, and you're like, how the hell am I going to do this? So, that was definitely like trial and error in the beginning and realizing like, okay, I don't need to place these big orders that these large med spas are placing. I'm small, I'm starting out. And so learning that, even if that means my price per syringe is going up 20 bucks, that's okay.
And remember, that is very critical information. It is
Hmm.
okay if you're making $20 less. Would you
Hmm.
rather make $20 less and save 10,000 or more on your order at first?
Right. Yeah.
So listen to listen to that and don't go further into debt than you need to, especially at the beginning. A lot of the successful med spa owners that I've interviewed tell me the same thing. If
Hmm.
they don't have investment money, if they're bootstrapping it and they're just turning the cash back into the business and growing it that way, they all say the same thing, is that they didn't invest into any device, any modality at all, any skincare line until they were ready and knew how to sell it.
Hmm.
And you gradually grow because otherwise you're basically doomed, right?
You're doomed. And that's a huge thing too. Like we're not sales people, I think people maybe have that like in them, but we didn't learn this in nursing school. So it's a whole nother like mindset shift. Where in the beginning, clients would come to me and be like, what do you think I need? And I'm such a hype woman. I'm like, you need nothing. You're perfect and beautiful and stunning. Like, why are you in my chair? And I'm like, okay, Jordan, you're gonna go bankrupt if you keep doing this.
you're out.
Yeah, you're
You're
done, dude.
you're done.
So shifting that mindset too in the beginning was challenging and not signing up for three skincare lines with $5,000 minimum orders, really focusing on like
Yeah.
what I want to sell and what I believe in and what's easy to sell.
Let's talk about that a little. You said that you would look at somebody and be like, "Oh, you're beautiful, girl. You don't need anything." But in reality, that's not why they're there. They're not there to be given lip service unless, they're getting their lips
Mm-hmm.
done. But they're actually there for a reason. So
Hmm.
did you have moments where you would tell your customers, "You don't actually need anything. You should go." And then they were kind of like, "No, but I want this." Or how did that happen?
Hmm.
How did you have the realization?
Yeah, in the beginning, there were a few clients that are like, thank you so much for saying that. I love you. But also like, I want to know, like, I'm in the chair. There are things that I want to do to improve my face. I have money. Just tell me what I need. Tell me. And so like really
Wow.
practicing that muscle of like pointing out something that can be improved. I don't want to call it a flaw, but something that can be improved was something I had to work out a little bit in the beginning. And now teaching my staff to do it in a delicate way. I never want a client to leave with yet another insecurity where they're like,
Yeah.
I didn't notice I had gelling and now it's all I can focus on. Thanks, Jordan. Now I have another insecurity to add to my belt. And so, like, doing it in a delicate way where they trust us and they know that we are the professionals and we went to a lot of schooling and education for this, but in a way that doesn't make them want to cry, fine
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. Because if people are there, they're there for a reason.
Hmm. They
They're
are.
not there to just be told the best case scenario.
Hmm.
Like actually you can get away with 40 units of Botox every 6 months and you'll be perfect. That's not why they're there. They're there to be explained to and to understand how they can achieve a result.
Hmm.
So you have a moral obligation to help them understand how to achieve that.
Yes. And that's the best way to frame it too. Like that is our moral obligation as injectors or estheticians is to give them an honest answer.
Do do you feel like there's a commonality in objections that your customers have about why they don't come in to get treated? Like once they finally do come in, Are they telling you it's because they took a long time because of whatever reason? Like, why aren't people coming in right away?
I think the fear of looking fake or looking overfilled, their husband doesn't want them to look like Joanne down the street who he knows that she gets filler and she looks crazy. I think that's, especially in this area in the Pacific Northwest, I think a lot of our clients are more natural and wanting to maintain that, and I love that. That's what our whole brand is about, is just enhancing you and making you have natural, juicy results. But it is a lot of education in the beginning of like, you're not going to get cheek filler and have these huge, crazy cheeks, or one syringe of lip filler and have these huge, overfilled lips. It's definitely an education piece. And then I think cost. I think people just don't know how much things run these days, and people are financially cautious as they should be. And so that's another education piece.
Yep. It might be less expensive to get you the result that you're looking for than you think. Is
Hmm. So
that
true.
fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have filler?
I do. Yeah.
You do.
A lot of it.
And you don't look fake.
See, thank you. And I think that's something too that clients have established trust in us is, I have probably 7 syringes of filler in my face. And I don't think someone would look at me down the street and be like, oh my gosh, she's so overfilled. Look at her. I think that that is kind of what has instilled like a confidence in our brand is we're
Yeah.
never going to oversell you. We're not going to do too much. We will tell you no if we think that something will look crazy. And you can have natural, undetectable results. That's how it should be.
Hmm. What do people think that being overfilled means?
I think they look at celebrities that, maybe were in sitcoms in the 90s and now they look at them 30 years later and they have the huge filled over cheeks, or, all of this part is sunken and taken away and they've had, fat removed or whatever. I think it's the disproportionate of features. Like they're not facially balanced anymore.
Yeah.
They're not harmonious. You look at someone and you're like, something looks off. And I think
Yeah.
that's what they think.
I think also there's a lot of fear mongering on social media about
Oh
filler,
my gosh, yeah.
specifically about filler. Also Botox too.
Hmm.
Botox is a brand name. It's not the treatment, it's a brand name, right? So neuromodulator is what it's called. But I think that a lot of it is just education, like you said, people not understanding that a celebrity or Joanne down the road
Hmm.
had hundreds of thousands in surgeries and people that shouldn't have been giving her the treatments that she was getting. Whereas if you are listening, what you're talking about in your approach is so much different than theirs because you're literally just like, okay, how do I get you to achieve a natural looking, balanced result that makes you feel confident and beautiful, right?
Hmm. Exactly. Yes.
So the difference between Botox and filler, because I feel like, first of all, I feel like men widely don't understand what this means.
Hmm.
I don't know the difference between Botox. I do, but I don't get what Botox or filler is. I hear Botox. I see the person in Hollywood that looks like she just had 10 plastic surgeries. I associate that, boom, a belief is born, right? But the
Hmm.
difference between Botox and filler, can you explain to us what they are?
Yes, so Botox is a neuromodulator, like you said, and that works on the muscle. So basically paralyzes muscle movement. That creates fine lines and
Temporarily.
wrinkles temporarily. Yes, that creates the fine lines and wrinkles. Filler is hyaluronic acid that replaces volume that has been lost over time. So, I think a lot of people come in and they'll be like, "Oh, I really need Botox for these lines right here." I'm like, okay,
Yep.
there's another education piece. That's a
Yep.
filler thing. Volume has been lost over time. We start to get folds that we don't want, so we have to replace the volume and plump them up. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, that is for sure definitely a thing I think among men and women. But something that we've started incorporating is buddy Botox, and husbands and wives will come together And it's the cutest little date night, and they love it. And the man comes in like all shy, and they're like, I don't know why I'm here. And then they're usually the
Yeah.
ones 3 months down the road, like, we need to make an appointment with Jordan. It's time. And it is cute to see how much that has changed over the last 5 years. It's
That's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's that's very different than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Why
Breaking the
do
stigma.
you why do you think the stigma is breaking?
I think maybe it is just more exposure and education, and I think maybe honesty. I think it still is a little hush hush, people that get these things, but I think people are talking more and more about it. And I think now men are realizing that it's okay for them to do this, and it's a form of self-care and anti-aging, and they deserve to look and feel their best as well. So I think slowly but surely men are feeling more
Yeah.
comfortable. Yeah.
Realizing it's okay to look a fraction as good as your wife, exactly, or
Yes,
your girlfriend.
exactly. And you're
Exactly.
not going to look frozen and crazy. Your eyebrows aren't going to go up to Timbuktu. Like, you're going to look natural. Your guy
I
friend isn't going
do
to notice
I do worry about that.
that.
We were creating some ad content last week for a client of mine, and we were talking about Botox, and I was the model because I wanted like a male model.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to ask any of my guy friends, like, hey, would you come be a model for me? Because I felt like the odds of that happening were very low. So I just stepped in and did it. And one of the things we talked about were my eyelids. And she was like, yeah, we could do injections right here and raise your eyebrows. And I'm like, so raising my eyebrows would help with the eyelids that are starting to come down. I just turned 40 last year. And she's like, yeah. So a few times I've walked over to the bathroom and I'll just be like, and I'm just imagining myself
You're like, do I
walking.
like this? I don't know.
I'm like, how high can we go? What looks normal? And I just, for me, I guess I'm bringing this up because I feel like a lot of people will wonder, will it make my eyebrows come up so high that I feel like it's not me still? And people will be like, hey, why do you look like you're surprised right now?
Right. No, no, definitely not. There's a movie, I think it's Christmas with the Cranks, and with Tim
I
Allen.
know what
Do
you're
you know?
talking about.
Yes. And I think people still think that that's what you're going to look like. And his
Yeah.
eyebrows are crazy. And it's like, no, it's going to be very subtle. You'll notice it, especially in pictures or, yeah, on your podcast. Just, you're
This
like,
needs
babe,
to
does
be the
this look good?
thumbnail.
Yes, that does. That's
Oh
hilarious.
man. Okay, well that's helpful to know. It's
Yeah.
all about keeping it natural.
Mhm.
So we know that Juicy has injections. We know that you do laser. You also do GLP-1s, which are weight loss, and facials.
Mhm.
Hydrofacial, Diamond Glow,
Yeah, we have a hydrofacial device and a
a
Glow
hydrofacial
2.
device. Glow
Hmm.
2,
Glow
cool.
2. Love Glow 2.
Yep. And what else is coming up though? There's something new coming, right?
Yeah, we just launched hormone replacement therapy and women's health therapy. So, our medical director, Miranda, is an incredible nurse practitioner who really is passionate about women's health. So, we're kind of doing like general practice medicine where she'll meet with you, go over anything that you're concerned with, any ailments, whatever, and listen to you
Yeah,
and get a
very
bunch of
important.
labs, very important. Get lab work done, meet back up with you, and then kind of get a really good game plan, whether that's testosterone or peptides, or maybe it is a GLP-1 or, a myriad of things. We love to look great on the outside, but something really important to our whole team is to like feel good on the inside as well. The two work together. And so we don't want someone with big, beautiful, juicy lips, but internally their sleep sucks. They're, fatigued throughout the day and then they're wired at night or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We want to approach this as a whole holistic approach.
Yeah, so hormones, peptides, I've been hearing so much about peptides and hormones lately. What are peptides?
Yeah, peptides are naturally occurring amino acids in our body. And over time, medicine has started developing peptides that are injected. And, there's a lot of like, you know, a lot of social media buzzwords about this. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's really important that when you're doing your research, you're getting peptides that are FDA approved from a reputable source, you know, prescribed from someone who knows what they're doing, because it is
How does
medicine.
a customer, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no, you're so good.
How does a customer know that it's coming from a reputable source and that it's an FDA approved peptide?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's shocking, and I hope that this will change down the road, but there are sites where you can just, let's say I'm not a nurse, I can just add to cart, this peptide and this peptide, check out without any like doctor's prescription. I
Wait,
can order anything.
real peptides?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Like
It,
injectable peptides?
yeah. And there are even like influencers on social media that are like, use my code to get 20% off your peptide order. And it's just shocking that we're just kind of like, the wild, wild west with this sort of medicine right now, because there are detrimental things that can happen. It is medicine and there are side
It's
effects.
medicine. Yeah.
Yeah. So making sure a doctor or an NP or medical provider is ordering them for you and has a good understanding of the peptide, what it does, things to look out for, cycling, that's huge and that's important. Maybe lab work done before, depending on the peptide. Um, that is very important because we don't know what we're injecting in ourselves when we're ordering
Sorry.
it
I would never do that.
ever. It is scary.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's people on TikTok showing them like injecting and where they got it from, and yeah, use my code
That's not
10%
a
off.
flex. That's
Yeah,
not the
no.
flex you think it is, guys. Wow. I mean, I've been hearing about fake injectors who
Yeah.
have been getting arrested, even in Arizona here. Like it's
Hmm.
been happening,
Hmm.
which is crazy also. But you have to just do research. You have to look and see, like, do you see a diploma on the wall? You're
Right.
able to look up people's nursing license also, just to make sure
Hmm.
that they're legit injectors. Like you can do that online.
Yes, and everyone should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I
It
didn't
is
know that.
crazy. I did just read
Um,
that the FDA is like honing in on these sites and they're
Good.
going to start taking them off the market because, yeah, we don't know the implications of these drugs. So,
And if you're one of the site owners selling this stuff, like stop. What?
stop. Yeah, stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who should be using peptides right now?
Honestly, there's a peptide for everyone. It's kind of amazing medicine. There's peptides for muscle regeneration if there's, someone's a big athlete and working out and hitting the gym and they want more muscle recovery. There's peptides for anxiety and sleep and, more brain focus. GLP-1s, that's a peptide. So for weight loss, there's just a whole myriad. And I think it is really cool that this medicine is starting to get more developed and more research is happening, because it can really change people's lives. But at GC, we only offer FDA approved. You have got to meet with Miranda and get your labs done and pick one that's good for you.
Have you been on any peptides or are you on any now?
Yeah, I actually just started doing the copper peptide.
Uh-huh.
The buzzword is glow, but it's really good for anti-aging, so fine lines and wrinkles, skin dullness, hair growth, which is huge. We're all losing our hair. And it is really cool. The research is awesome behind it.
Wow, that's
Hmm.
really amazing.
Yeah, it is really cool.
What do you feel like is the most rewarding thing for you as an aesthetic injector and as a business owner to like experience?
Yeah, it's such a cookie cutter answer to be like, to make people feel more confident, but it is so true. Like having a woman or man or whatever sit in my chair and say, I'm being vulnerable with you. These are the things I don't like about myself. I've had people cry in my chair about things that have bothered them since childhood. And to be able to make them like see their beauty authentically before we even bring out a syringe, but then to, potentially fix something that they don't like and to have them
Yeah,
look in the mirror and cry happy tears of like, thank you so much. I can go throughout my day feeling more confident and it's affecting now more areas of life. Like my work is improving and my marriage is improving. It is really cool to see. and have that trust and that interpersonal relationship is huge. Our clients are not just a number. Our clients come to us because we are very like we're like a family and we're goofy and we're fun and we listen and we know that you just got married a year ago or that your cat died or whatever it may be. We have really close relationships and it is really fulfilling to see that we're not just like, you know, come in, come out, come in, come out. We really take the time. Our appointments are longer for that reason, because we want to like really know you, know your goals, and develop that relationship. I think it's kind of makes us a little different.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Today I went to the dermatologist just for an annual checkup,
Hmm.
and I was in and out in 17 minutes.
See, yeah.
Now, now, of course, did I really want to be at the dermatologist for a long time? No, I
Hmm.
did.
Yes.
I did not. But she gave me a full skin exam. They found they found something that looked a little slightly irregular, she said. So like took it off for a biopsy, whatever. So I was glad that I went in for that. Some of the other concerns that I've been having, she's like, I wouldn't worry about this right now. If it starts to hurt or whatever, call us. But I was glad that I went. But I'm just thinking about this and I'm like, it's really just churn and burn. How many people can we get in and out? And
Hmm.
I mean, the visit was $250. It
Oh
was
my gosh,
$250 in
that's
15
wild.
minutes. Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
just hearing you say that, knowing that like I'm gonna be given top level care means a lot.
Hmm.
And of course there are times where I do just want to get in and out and go.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I appreciate and I think that this is what's gonna set you apart as a really top level, not just injector, but business,
Hmm.
is you creating a space for people to have transformations,
Hmm.
you providing them the opportunity to achieve the results that they've always wanted, making them feel like they're not just being rushed in and out makes a huge difference. It
It
really
really
does matter
does.
because
Hmm.
in the world that we're in today of AI and with the decreased amount of face-to-face conversations or even phone conversations that we have compared to when we were little, relationships are the thing that are going to set everyone apart.
Hmm.
Eventually, there will be AI humanoid robots that inject.
Yep,
There will,
for sure. Yeah.
but it will be looked at as luxury if you go into a place where a human is injecting or lasering or giving a facial.
Hmm.
And that's what a lot of people will still want because they'll want that human interaction most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. Which I agree. There's sometimes where I'm like, okay, I've got things to do. I don't have time to
Yeah,
talk about anything.
just
But
let me
I
go.
think, yeah, exactly. To have like, a mix of both where I'm like, okay, I'm picking up. You got to get out of here. Okay, let's do your
Yeah.
talks real quick and I'll see you in 3 months or whatever. But, to also have a client text or number at the end of the day and be like, I'm so sorry, trauma dumped on you, but you have no idea how much that meant to me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. It's having those interpersonal relationships, it's super fulfilling. And seeing that, I was very deliberate in the staff I've brought on to Juicy. Like this is my baby. So I want
Yeah.
people like-minded individuals who genuinely care about people on board and seeing them and how much our clients love the staff too is like, I think as a business owner, that's like the best thing. Because I'm like, oh, my
So since,
babies.
yeah, no, you have to protect that too. And I think you're doing
Hmm.
it the right way.
Thank you.
Since you're into numbers,
Hmm.
and you don't need to tell me what it is, but do you know like what your client retention rate is?
Yeah, that's actually so funny. We just switched over to a new booking system
Which one did you switch
and
to?
we switched to Boulevard
What were you on
and
before?
Jane app. Yeah. And there's pros and cons of both, but we're still kind of learning Boulevard. And I was doing this business meeting with a coach and they asked that question. So I'm looking on Boulevard and I can't tell yet with this new system. There's like no
Oh,
report for it. So I don't know if we just haven't.
I've heard that. You have to do it manually.
yeah, what do you mean Italy? And I'm like,
Some people from Boulevard follow me though, so if you're listening to this,
yeah,
we
help.
need auto reporting, guys.
Yes, please, because this is a very crucial number to have.
You know what may be possible though? If you're on the top tier of Boulevard, you can have access to their API, which nerd talk means you can take a software and connect it to their software and extract information.
Oh,
So I'm wondering if it's possible to create a reporting system for you if you were on that top tier.
oh,
We
I
could talk about
wonder.
that a
Okay,
different
yeah,
day.
please, yeah.
But okay, so you just switched over to Boulevard and then
Mhm.
you don't actually know what your
I don't
retention is
actually know.
because of that. Is your client retention good?
Yes, it is very good. Yes. You know, it is funny.
Wow.
I had our front desk gal the other day text clients who haven't been in a few months because I'm like, where are
Hmm.
these people at? What's going on? And I would say 95% of people booked. Like the reminder was really good for them to be like, oh, I got a book. And 5% were pregnant. And so I'm like,
Oh
okay,
my
that feels
gosh,
good. That feels great.
that's
But
a
every single
huge
person texted back.
percentage.
Yeah.
That's a huge percentage of people are pregnant. That's amazing.
Yes, I know. I'm like,
Okay.
wow, what is in the water in Vancouver? That's great.
Why why is your client retention so great? Like why are people engaging back with you so much?
I think it is because of that like extra touch point of making them feel seen and heard and validated. I think it goes a long way. We also have quarterly events at Juicy. We have a huge space. So it's 5 rooms, but the middle is huge. So we
Yeah.
try to do like big parties every quarter, and that like really brings
Wow.
our group together. They're really fun.
Are
And
the
we'll have
parties like
different
sales events or is it just fun?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Like, we'll usually have 2 injector rooms running, so we'll just do
Uh-huh.
Botox filler or lip filler, Botox lip filler, and then our master SD will be doing some sort of skin treatment. But we'll also like outsource to other small businesses and have like permanent jewelry or a tattoo or piercing, cookies, t-shirts. We have a big space. So then that brings people closer together and,
Amazing.
helps them out too. Yeah, they're really fun. So I feel like we
Yeah.
just have like a cool community. In fact, in 2024, we won Clark County's Best Med Spa.
Hey.
And we won last year, so 2 years in a row, and we're up
Hey.
for the running again this year.
Hey.
So,
When has anyone
uh,
ever done the three-peat?
I know, I hope so. I mean, I hope it's us. I really hope it's us.
Yeah.
Because that would
Um
be amazing as, we are pretty new in the grand scheme of things. So just I think that is validating in the sense of like, okay, we're doing something
and the
right.
best and the best part is when you win an award like that and you weren't the only med spa
Yeah, yes,
up.
yes.
When you beat
Yeah,
everyone else, that is the best part.
that right there. Yes, that's the
It's
kicker.
like I got first in my age group at this race, and I was the only
I
contestant.
compete against myself.
I know, right? No,
Yes, that is
I'm
very
just
true.
teasing. I'm sure that there's a lot of great med spas too, but
There are.
what you're telling me is you're creating a culture within your med spa, and I think that that's beautiful. How do you create a culture where people want to return? I think that that might be the name of the title here.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna write that down. How to create a culture. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. How
that's
do you
good.
create a
Yeah.
culture where your customers want to come back? Because we always talk about your company culture, as in for your employees,
hmm
but your customer culture is different. And I think you've got a lot of it figured out. I think that you think on your feet a lot too. You figure stuff out as you go.
Yeah,
You're
have to.
learning and
hmm
yeah, I get that. And you're figuring it out and it's working. What's
Thank
the
you.
plan? Are you going to try to keep scaling? What are you wanting to do with it?
Yeah, I think just keep scaling and keep growing. As much as I love injecting so much, it is challenging being at the bedside, doing the admin. I have had a hard time delegating things in the past, and once I do delegate, that's usually when the needle moves and we are able to expand because I'm able to give more of myself to, other things. Um, so delegating some clients to staff so I can step away from bedside a little bit and focus more on admin, focus more on education. I would love to be in more of like the educator space and really lean into that because I'm very passionate about it. I think that's one of the coolest things about our industry is you don't just get to take one certification class and be like, I know everything there is to know about neuromodulator.
No.
You don't. No, it's constantly changing, being as safe as possible, providing the best outcomes. There's just so much. And so really want to delve into that because I'm very passionate about it. And yeah, keep growing the team. And yeah, we'll see. I've toyed with the idea of opening up another location, but
Yeah, you will. You will.
I think so. Gosh, it terrifies
I
me.
do.
It's so
I know.
scary.
You just have to remember too, did it terrify you to open your first one? And if it
Yes.
didn't terrify, yeah, so it did. And you
Yeah.
were naive still. Now at
Mhm.
least you know how to track your numbers.
That's true. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know it's like, okay, where am I gonna go? What am I gonna start with? I actually think it would be easier. And especially as you're transitioning away and you're delegating some of your clients to your amazing providers, you're going to be able
Mhm.
to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to do it. And I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Um, how do people get a hold of you? What's your Instagram handle? What's your website?
Our website is www.juicyaesthetics.com. My injector page is Injector Juicy
Injector
and
Juicy.
Injector Juicy, can't forget it. And our med spa name is Juicy Med Spa. And yeah,
Amazing.
follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We post a lot of great content, befores and afters, funny things. And yeah, come to one of our events if you're local.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Jordan, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing all
thank
of these
you.
things. It was great to learn more about you, and I'm really excited for your success, and I'm happy for all that you've been able to achieve, and truly excited to continue to watch you grow this thing and to provide the service for everybody. So you should feel very proud of yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It is,
Yeah.
easy to be like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I'm not achieving enough. But when you sit down, it's like, no, this is exactly what I hoped for 5 years ago. So yeah,
A lot
just
of
keep
people say
going.
that, and I just had this thought. I want to share it. If you ever feel like you're not moving fast enough, I want you to think about this. How long have you been building what you're building? How
Mhm.
old are you right now? And how old do you anticipate to be when you die? Think about that. If you're 30 years old and you've been running your med spa since 22,
Yeah.
that is more than 10% of your life.
Yeah. That is a
And if
great way to look
you're
at it.
and if you're going to be, let's just say 90 years old when you pass, you're only a third of the way there.
Wow. That is really good insight.
Thanks. I just thought of
Yeah.
it as you were saying that because I've had this thought a lot, and people will just say simply, try to make it simple and just be like, you're on your own timeline. Don't worry about the
Don't
way other people are
compare.
doing
Yeah.
things. And I agree with that, but something always felt missing. And I feel like that's the piece. It's like in your life, you're going to have the opportunity to build certain things and don't rush it. Just move forward at a swift pace where you're actually making progress, but you don't need to like sweat how fast or slow you think you're going.
Hmm. That is good. Yeah. It's almost like, oh my gosh, my time's running out. But really, when you put it that way, it's like, oh, I still have plenty more working years ahead of me.
It's not it's not running out, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately
Kind of
for us,
glad.
it
Yep.
is not running out yet. But thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
being on here,
Thank you.
Jordan. And
I
thank you
appreciate
everybody
it.
for listening. And until next
Thanks.
time, take good care of yourself, everybody.